Emily and I walked carefully through alleyways, making sure not to attract attention to ourselves. We came to a stop at a diner, seemingly untouched by the distortion inflicted on the city. As we walked inside, Emily grunted as she slumped Cody into a chair, seemingly relieved to not be burdened with the weight. "So, should we restock our supplies?" Emily suggested, pulling out her book to make sure that this place had not been affected by what happened to the city. "Yeah, we can also take a short break," I sighed, sitting down on a chair. Emily cleaned her glasses with a cloth on the table and grabbed 2 bottles of what seemed to be water. "Thanks," I said, taking a swig. "The hospital should not be far from here," Emily said. "Yeah," I started, but didn't follow up, not knowing what to say. "It's crazy, you know." Emily stared into her book. I asked. "When I was younger, I never believed in the supernatural. I only believed in proven logic and facts," she confessed. "So, what made you believe in it?" I asked curiously. "It's kind of obvious. The book. It kind of changed my life," she said. "The book in your hand?" I questioned. "Yeah, I read through it countless times. It seemed impossible, so I threw it away. I left it to the dusty bookshelf in my office," she ranted. I listened in. "But then I met you. You said this crazy story that nobody would have ever believed, except me," she finished. "Wait, but what about the group that you were with?" I asked, now confused. She sighed before looking up from the book, staring at me. Honestly, at first, I wanted to believe what the book said was real, so much so that I told everyone about it. Not many people believed it was true, but some of them did. She glanced at Cody before continuing. "Even though I had started teaching them about this book, I still didn't believe it. I didn't want to tell them their own leader didn't actually believe in what I once stated to be true," she confessed. We had finished our drinks. We packed up and quickly left, making sure to grab any supplies we found. We didn't find a ton of useful things, but the unspoiled food and water would suffice. A couple of hours passed. Nothing really special happened, but I'd take being bored over monsters any day. Eventually, we were face to face with a hospital. Our plan was kind of simple. We'd go in, get supplies if it wasn't dangerous, stay a few days, and try fixing me and Cody up. I pushed through the double doors and found myself in a dimly lit hospital. I looked around, seeing the medical wing and ushering Emily to follow me. As we walked through the empty halls, I heard a familiar voice. "You're not dead yet?" George asked, seemingly annoyed. "This hell of a city is doing a bad job at finishing us off, and soon enough, we will find you," I retorted. "And then what? You get shot down again," George teased. "I have your gun," I said. "The book is stronger than whatever you're going to throw at me," George sneered. "You call yourself the chosen one, yet you haven't managed to kill me, George," I reminded him. "Let's fix that then," he said, before going silent. We found our way to a room with some medical supplies and headed inside. Emily set Cody onto a bed, and I grabbed any medical supplies I could get my hands on. I turned to Emily and gasped. Behind her, the window and the door showed more of those twisted humanoid monsters about to enter. I lunged forward, locking the door before they could open it. They began banging on the door, screaming wildly. I motioned for Emily to get something to barricade the door, but she was already on it, grabbing a couple heavy machinery for monitoring health and setting them in front of the door with a bit of a struggle. I sighed in relief, but Emily screamed as the giant spiders with human faces were on the window in our room. I closed the blinds, and Emily and I started blocking the window with more heavy objects, like desks and beds. We were stuck here. Emily decided to make use of our time here and began looking through the medical supplies I found. She found some clean bandages and decided to replace my old ones, which were stained in blood. After a couple of hours, I had new bandages and some pain relief medicine. Emily started treating Cody. "Do you know if he will wake up?" I asked. "I don't know, but he has a couple of days until I will deem him as a lost cause," she sighed. "Why a couple of days?" I asked. "Because that's how long we will be stuck in here, probably. We cannot bring him to St. George's or he will surely slow me down to the point that we won't be able to stop George, she explained. So, what is George able to do? I asked. According to the book, and what we have seen, he can pretty much summon monsters from the book, turn a city into a twisted nightmare, hide it from the world, and he also has heightened senses, along with not being able to feel pain. There's also more, but most of that is for the supposed chosen one, which is gained by killing you, which, has not happened yet, she stated. Tell me what he will gain by killing me, I demanded. If you insist, he gains the ability to manipulate the entire world, and not just a city. He also will become immortal and invincible, so you better not die anytime soon, or the world is doomed, she said, looking back at me to see if I had any more questions. How are we supposed to kill him? I asked, now with an annoyed tone. We aren't. We just need to take the book away from him, she said. So, without the book, he is powerless? I asked, clearly confused. The moment the book is closed, the city should go back to normal, and he should be as easy to take out as the average person, she said, as if it was obvious. Also, while we are here for most likely a couple of days, we should take turns keeping watch over the monsters and resting, she advised. Dibs on sleeping first, I said quickly. She rolled her eyes. Fine, and began reading through a book again. I got into a nearby bed, since this room had an abundance of them, and recorded this, before dozing off. I think it will be a peaceful couple of days, but I don't want to jinx it. I'm tired of living in this hell, and I will stop George, even if it's the last thing I do. I'll try to get back to you all soon.